No, he just went on
away?
international break. He just went on international break.
So was he on international break when it happened? So he was under the jurisdiction.
He went, and it had been
Argentina?
a couple days.
Wait, is it
yeah, he was
Argentina
in Uruguay.
Uruguay, yeah.
Uruguay. Uruguay.
So it happened while he was in Uruguay. So it happened under Uruguay's jurisdiction. So I don't know how the FA gets involved with that, because that's the impression I got with the whole Enzo situation. That Enzo situation has to do with FIFA, not with the FA. So that's what has me confused, and I'm kind of asking myself questions like, okay, wait, is that why it's not happening? Like, because the Enzo thing, I expected something to happen, and apparently the same thing with you. Like, it's dealt with internally. Fofana and all the other French people ended up saying, like, the contingency, that's what I meant to say, ended up saying let bygones be bygones. They let it go, and they, you know, said and everything's cool with Enzo. And I haven't heard anything about it since. So I think it's something to do with FIFA, maybe, but that's the impression I got. So I'm just confused as to how the FA got involved with the whole Bentancur case.
Yeah, and obviously you didn't do it, but we're gonna hold you accountable, like it was you who said it, Marshall. So how dare you? All right,
yeah, how dare I? How dare I?
So looking at the matches he's gonna miss, if it's effective immediately,
7 matches.
if it's 7, so he can play Europa, so he'll be all right to play for Roma, which I guess is like, not the worst. He can still play, so it's not like he's on the shelf, like, suspended.
Not like an Ivan Toney kind of suspension.
Right. Not something where he can't even be at the fucking training ground. Like, he still can train with us, play with us, just not in domestic, like, so FA Cup, Carabao Cup, for that's 7 matches. So that City is 1. Then Fulham, Bournemouth, you motherfucker. So Chelsea's 4 matches. Then he can play versus Rangers. Damn, he's going to have to go this whole stretch not playing any fucking matches. That's sad. Maybe he'll get some time with the U21s. I don't know. So he'll play Rangers, and then 5 is Southampton. And then he's going to miss Carabao Cup is 6. Damn. And Liverpool is 7. Fuck. That's tough, bro. He's going to miss Liverpool. He's missing a quarterfinal in the Carabao Cup. Southampton, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Fulham, and City.
It's a good stretch of games, dude.
That's not good.
But he doesn't start for you guys, right?
That's debatable, because no one really knows what our best midfield is, because at times different variations of the 3 has been better, and Bissouma's taken his job sometimes, and then he, sadly enough, really since they announced that they were going to ban him a few months ago, and he's been playing, they it was really like he started to improve. He started to do things well. He actually started performing better than Bissouma, comparable to Sarr. So it was like he was always in that rotation, so to speak. And a lot of people's ideal midfields did comprise. They were comprised of a composition. Johann Sebastian Bach. Fuck was I saying?
He was playing well, the midfield.
Yeah, so it's like they're going to ban him, then he starts performing like one of our better midfielders. And it was just like, of course. And then the ban comes when he's arguably one of our better midfielders. For me, our best midfielder has been Kulusevski. If I had to do like a team of the season so far, the only person from Tottenham I would argue for is maybe Kulusevski, but that's it. Outside of that, I don't think there's been anyone on the team good enough to even throw around, even bantering sake. Last year I was having fun because we had really good 10 games. So like doing those team of the seasons was a lot of fun. But, back to our midfield, I think he's been a very pivotal piece when we've been successful. So yeah, it sucks. Those are some big boy games. Again, City away, Fulham at home, Bournemouth away. Bournemouth has beaten City and Arsenal. And then we play Chelsea at our own ground. That's never. It's gonna be a dark week, man. Southampton, but for me, the biggest ones is that quarterfinal: Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and obviously Bournemouth. Honestly, all of them. We need them for all of them. Maybe you could say Southampton. That's fine. I wish we could choose which 7 games. You know, that'd be
That'd
nice.
be too convenient.
But anyway, that's a bummer. You wish you had Hoiberg right now? Fuck no. But you know, that's even good. Man, when Shakira said my hips don't lie, if that's true and her hips move like that, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, his hips are a habitual liar, an abuser, a criminal probably, and likely doing life in prison because his hips for sure lie. They don't move very good anyway. But yeah, that's there. So that's kind of fun. Also, Ben Davies spoke on it. He says he read the news this morning, probably just like everyone else did. As a group, as a team at Tottenham, we've all drawn a line under the incident and moved on. But I ultimately think it's important that we realize that these kinds of things need to be looked at with this kind of seriousness. So
Wait, another question for you, Jacob.
Ben Davies wasn't very apologetic about it.
How long ago did this happen? Because I'm kind of curious.
I think it was in the summer,
this...
maybe, or the first international break.
Enzo thing kind of happened.
Yeah, or maybe right before.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, this is all a process as well, you know. Like, it takes investigation and all that fun stuff, and then they finally come to a decision.
Yeah.
So,
hey, big up Jonathan. Made his debut on the channel during the Wham Wham call-in show. I'm just going to start calling those instead of convince me to be Ainge Out, because no one has convinced me to be Ainge Out. But I've been doing these call-in shows, Marshall, where I give everyone the opportunity. Come on and talk your shit. And so far, 0 pussies have pulled up. 0. The closest thing I had to an opposing opinion was Perchie and Kuva, and Perchie's like, I'm Ainge, I don't give a shit because we're broken, and that makes sense. That's fair. And Kuva's like, I will flip flop based on every performance at this point. When we win, I'm Ainge in. When we lose, Ainge out. He's clueless. He's this. You know, he actually never said clueless, but he does openly admit he's like, I will flip. And you know, I like to say, support the team however you want. I am not the fucking one to sit here and tell people how to support something. I can just tell you how I feel about it. And, you know, no one's pulled up. But big up Jonathan anyway, passing by the Lover's Lane. And good morning, I believe. It's in Australia. He's in Australia. And it's funny because one of the people who's always in my comments going, wham, wham, he commented on the video after it had posted, you know, and he said, oh, good job bringing on someone who's lived in Australia his whole life and doesn't even support Spurs. Because Jonathan came on and says, I've never supported Spurs. I don't actually support them now. I don't have a Premier League team. He's like, I've followed Ainge's career. You know, I'm aware of Ainge's career. And he's just, you know, kind of talking. So, you know, some people don't like hearing others' opinions like that. I don't know.
Hey man, it's the internet. There's all types of opinions out there. That's the game we play. That's
a good point by Ash P.
Manager.
What's that?
Kind of cool. It's kind of cool to. I've never been like a manager, of a fan of a manager and follow their career like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
and
like
POSTECOGLOU of all people too.
But he did manage their national team, and then he also like managed a few Australian clubs. And he took one of them that was like in the shitter, and they went unbeaten like 70 matches or some shit, some crazy stat. And he won all type of shit. Then he went and became Australian national team manager, helped them qualify for shit that they've never qualified in their history for, and then basically told them to go fuck off and left and went to Japan. And then did what he did with Brisbane Roar and Melbourne Victory. He did that in Japan. So then he gets a job at Celtic. And, you know, they were tired of Rangers winning. So guess what? He pulls up to Celtic, hits a fucking treble on the ass. And then he's like, I'm out. So, you know, this motherfucker be pulling up, bro. They say he don't pull up, but then he does. Like, oh, he looks down. He's looking at the floor. He's not looking at my eyes. He needs to look me in the fucking... He needs to smell me. He needs to get him to smell me. And it's like, why are you so weird about it? Bro, they're so weird about it. They're like, this motherfucker on the touchline's got his hands in his pockets. So? So what?
It's in your pockets, Ange.
What's in your pockets, bro? What you got in there? A weapon? Narcotics?
He's got like a fidget spinner or some shit.
Yeah, or like a little clicker, clickety, you know.
Oh, dude,
And the
I
thing
love
is,
those things.
there's been plenty of times where the camera cuts to him and he's fucking yelling at players, but no one ever talks about that.
Of course,
and no one ever talks about the things that I, were talking about in the last upload that I did. Starting to do pre-recorded video uploads along with live streams to try and help the algorithm, so to speak. So I was talking about it. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but Ange Postecoglou, whenever they take his quotes, I try to remind folks there's a man on the other side of that camera that is trying to get him to say something that'll get clicked on, just like everyone. Oh, Ainge always wins in his second year. Ainge bangs on about winning in his second year. He doesn't bang on about it. Y'all bang on about it. He answered a question and corrected the guy because the guy said, Marshall, he said, now, Ainge, you usually win in your second year. Are you going to win with Tottenham? And he's like, I don't usually win in my second year. I've always won in my second year. It's just a factual statement. And people are so upset about it. They're like, oh, you said he always wins. This is his second year. He better win. And it's like, okay, so he's got to do, in order for him to prove himself, he must do what Jose couldn't do and what Antonio Conte couldn't do, Pochettino couldn't do, and that's win a fucking trophy. And I get it. Like we've been so starved that we are like chomping at the bits to get something. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think for me anyway, I just try to keep my expectations slightly realistic, even though people say I'm realistic. Look at my facts. But then, they're like hand selected. These 19 matches. Well, why not 23 matches? Why not 15 matches? Why is it a selected 18 or 19? Because if you include or exclude those other games, it makes the narrative a little bit, it makes the facts appear like they don't correlate with the said narrative. So it's silly. And, everyone knows best, but yet they're talking to me on YouTube. So it's like, do you really?
Gonna gen, dude.
Yeah. Anyway,
There's some people in the Chelsea fan base that are looking for any negative moment in Chelsea, anything, just to be right about the fact that they want the owners out. So I get where you're coming from. There's always going to be people like that. It's annoying.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I don't like to tell people how to feel or how to support.
Of course,
so like,
yeah, exactly.
I sympathize. There's content creators I vehemently disagree with them, but I sympathize with their plight because, they're like, I've been supporting for 40 years, and it's like I ain't even been alive for 40 years. So you be as mad as you want to be, bro. Like I'm not trying to tell anyone. So that's why big up Toxic Headshot doesn't like Ainge, doesn't want Ainge. You're well within your right to have your own opinion about this manager, his play style, whatever. And I have mine, and I place blame where I feel like the problem has been before Ainge has been here. So when these things rear their head and we see them happen again, to me, that's just a pattern of behavior. That's just the ethos and a mentality issue at the club. And then it's like, oh, well, they're doing it under Ainge too. Yeah, they did it under your favorite manager as well. So whatever your favorite manager of Tottenham may have been, they did it under him too. So I don't know. It is what it is. I think if he wins games, then the fucking noise is quieter. You win a trophy, the noise will completely go away, and it'll actually turn into something else.
That's
and it's like, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just saying that's the thing with Chelsea, right? Like, people were so loud about Chelsea in the beginning of the season. Once we started winning games, I have not heard a single thing about how overbloated our squad is, how much we paid for our players, all this and that. The most I'm getting right now is the Enzo thing, pretty much. So winning games counts for something. With you guys, it's been really inconsistent. It's tough to keep the freaking, and that's the other thing. That's the other hard part for the job, right? Is trying to pipe down those critics and trying to just deal with that every single press conference that you don't end up winning. And then,
Another thing I wanted to add on that, because you just reminded me of a beautiful point. They're like, I was listening to Chris Callan, and there was a dude on there. I'm not going to say his name because he actually says a lot of offensive things about Australian people and Aboriginal. He said some shit that a lot of Australians were like, that's racist. Like, why would you say that? Why are you okay with it? And then the channel that he said it on, they just edited it out and didn't say anything about it. But he still goes on a bunch of people's channels and stuff. And, you know, I was stupid and I brought it up in the comments because he was talking about this Rodrigo Bentancur thing, how awful it is that he shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, what about you, buddy? What about your racist remarks about the Aborigines? And then I was like, oh, fuck, I should delete that. And I did. No one addressed it. So it's kind of water under the bridge. But I, you know, he said something along the lines of, oh, fuck, what were we talking about before I brought that up? What the fuck were we talking about?
The critics, when you guys win, you're winning, and no, the media's quiet, but when you lose, it's like dealing with that. At the job, Ange has to deal with the pressure of the media asking him questions about the inconsistency of the team.
This is what I remember. Yeah, thank you. So after a match, when we just lost, and it was like the worst 80 minutes you've ever seen,
yes,
versus a winless Palace or a winless Ipswich, or the atrocity 45 versus Brighton. Those are the three that stand out for me. The loss versus Arsenal, I understand.
You guys had some really
They're
bad
supposed to
defeats this
compete for.
season.
Yeah, but it's those three. We've lost 5 in the Premier League. Galatasaray, we got stomped on. Victor Osimhen's quality. Those in-swinging passes they were doing. Am I supposed to think Davies is going to stop that? I've never seen him stop shit like that in Europe, especially. So, of course, that's what happened. So I'm not really upset about the Galatasaray away. I knew we weren't going to do well in a fucking what they call hell.
Match.
They call it welcome. They say welcome to hell, you know, and they're fucking fuck you, screaming at you. So while it sucks, I understand it. But the three that really linger is that second half versus Brighton, the full 90 versus Ipswich, and the full 90 versus Palace. The Arsenal loss, they won off of one set piece where CUTI got dunked on. Outside of that, we could have won it if we were fucking any bit effective in the final third. We weren't. We had, I think, 15 chances and nothing went in. And then the loss before that was Newcastle away, which has been in recent years a fucking son of a bitch. And again, another match where I think we had 20 chances and 1 goal goes in off of an own goal from Dan Burn. So like, but everyone said it was ANGE'S tactics. I just disagree because I think the tactics got us set up to create that many chances, and it's these attackers that can't finish their dinner that really taint the performances. And I use taint specifically. I love that word. Big up Donna Colin, gifting 5 United Spurs of America memberships. Let's see who got those. Big up Donna, a wagwan to you. Congratulations, Patty Hartnett, Flips MC, Robert Maury, STZ02, and Jim Vanderboden. Jim Vanderboden. You sound like a knight. My name is Jim Vanderboden from the Vanderboden clan. Sounds fucking fabulous. But big up Donna, dubs in the chat for Donna Colin, Wagwan, and congrats on the brand change. Did you see the brand change, Marshall?
Yeah.
We changed our logo.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's
a brand remastered.
Always been just a rooster.
Well, you know, there it is. It's that. There you go. See that? There you go. Oh, whoa, hey, and then that, and then that.
I kind of expected that, I guess.
And I don't like that they didn't consider any of the epileptic fans because, to be fair, like I could have sent me in a tizzy. But this is our new font. So if you probably don't know, but I loved our old font, bro. Our old European font.
I don't know how I feel about this.
They just italicsed it and made it like swervy. So I don't really care for it too much. I'll be honest. It's fine. I don't care. It's fine.
Okay.
Created with the input of over 300 players, staff, and fans.
No, it's just
they didn't
one
ask
person.
Me. So they basically turned it. They took Tottenham Hotspur out of it.
I like that.
And they made it like a silhouette.
Yeah.
So, wait. Here we go.
1 second, Jacob.
Oh shit! Let me see what the chat's saying. What do y'all think about this logo change, man? To me, it's like not that big of a difference, but I can definitely see where people are saying they're washing our club. You know, soon, you know, I wouldn't be surprised they turn Tottenham Hotspur Stadium into the stadium or something of that ilk. Yeah, man, I guess it's fine. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. It's kind of silly. It seems pointless. It's just like they erase the words and they're like, there you go. There's the new logo. Benny Guy, this is a very good point, Benny Guy. Zlatan once said every club has its own huge mess going on, so we better just fucking win and shut people up. Well, spot on. All I can say is that. Just win and he'll shut up. Wagwan, Donna. Wagwan. 5 losses, a few against relegation fodder. Yeah. Leicester draw? Yeah. That was bad too. I am ET. What does that mean? St. James Park is always a tough place to play at. I agree. But again, we could have just finished our chances and everything would be fine. They remastered the cock. It is new and it is extra cocky. Like, this is some of the... They just took, and they redid the monogram. Oh, shit. What the fuck? Oh, God. This is... The way they did this layout shit, it's, like, really confusing. They changed all these Hallmark badges. Okay. And the color? I mean, okay. It looked like a blueprint for a fucking building or something. The schematics. What the fuck are we doing here? I like the monogram, but nobody respects a chicken logo. Yeah, you might be right. Jacob, can you play the Get the Fuck Out of Here clip? Can I play the Get the Fuck Out of Here clip?
Man, get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, get the fuck out of here because I'm gonna fuck you out right now, motherfucker. Hey, you are a horrible fighter, man. You never gonna get the fight, man.
You'll never want to get the fight, man. Big up Boston. Hello, Boston. The mean streets of Boston. I like the monogram. Oh, yeah, I already read that. They took the words away. Yeah. And then they also made it like a silhouette version. So basically, they could just do whatever they want with it, which seems a little exploitative. I don't know. No naming rights. Still no naming rights. Was that 10 years in the making? FC UK CU and Ange out only exists with a handful of look at me tossers online, says Lenny Mac. Lenny Mac, what did you say they said?
Hello, my name is. Hello, my name is. Hello, my name is. A huge piece of shit, kids.
Very interesting, Lenny Mac. Very interesting point you bring up. Flips, big up Dubs for the gifted membership every single time. We are not even a football club. We are a marketing club. Well, this right here kind of looks like schematics to like a building. So they took our logo or our font and just italicsed it.
They tilted it.
Is this gentrification of a football club? Like, what is?
They're making it look more complicated than it actually was.
Okay.
There's a lot of engineering that went into the renaming of the rebranding.
Ashley says, no, Jacob, we lost 9 and 18 because last season matters. Okay, then include the entire season. Why are you only including a sample size that suits your narrative, Ashley? Answer that fucking question, if that is your real name. Shoshi. The cock is fine. I don't like the new font either. I don't like the italics. I like the original font personally, but that's just because I've grown to love it, I guess. Does less letters mean we got to pay less for a jersey? No, I think we're going to get charged more because now they can do a silhouette of the cock. The same club, players, and manager you don't rate, you expect to not lose. Ashley, what are you waffling about? I don't know what you want about, but you've lost the plot. How many points is acceptable from the next 5 games? Fuck, I need to pull up the schedule. But if I remember correctly, what
play us.
City, Rome, if you're including the Premier League. Yeah, even if you're including Europa, yeah, you're still a part of that next 5.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to just say City. We could win, we could draw, we could lose. I can see any of that. So after, I would prefer to look after City because that's really a fucking monkey wrench in the noodles. Because it doesn't like, you just never know. With City, they could either dominate us and fuck us up and make us look like little kids, or we little bro them and then we just punch them in the cock and run away with 3 points. Like, it happens. We did it in the Carabao Cup. I'm going to say Fulham, Bournemouth, Chelsea, 3-4 points. Out of those 3-4 points is probably realistic. Probably get a draw versus Bournemouth. You might lose versus. I mean, historically, we've always lost versus Chelsea, so it's like probably lose that. Just pray it's not as bad as last year, dear God. And
Yeah, last year's pretty
win
bad.
against Fulham, but then again, Fulham got 6 points on us last year, so it's like these next 3 games are crazy. If Ainge loses, if we lose, not just Ainge, but he's a part of it. But if we lose City, we win Roma, but then those next 3 Premier League matches, if you like get 1 or 2 points, you know, like 2 draws and a loss, it's getting murky. You're getting real murky because that's why this City game, I think a lot hinges on it. And you win that, now we're fucking tied on points with you and Arsenal. And we're above y'all because of our goal differential. So it's like we are at the precipice of either falling off the cliff or getting ahead in whatever race you think we're in the Premier League specifically. So to me, City is all I'm looking at. I can't even look at those next matches because like, I will recalibrate everything after the City result because I'll have a clearer picture of what. So, you know, that's again why I don't necessarily like go wham about the folks that are going wham about Ange Postecoglou because it's like this is a results-based business. But the results and the facts are we're 3 points off of third. We are not a far shout. You lose versus City and both you and Arsenal win. Well, now we're 6 points. So now things are different. Now you get 1 point versus Fulham or 0, God forbid. Now where are we? Where are y'all after those results? That at that juncture is when shit's going to get real murky if that's what we come to. But again, if we would have won versus Ipswich, this would be this international break would be sexy as fuck, bro. It'd be tits out, spring break, fucking yeah, man.
You guys have it in you. That's the part that's really weird about your season so far. Like, how do you put up a performance like you did against Villa and then capitulate to Ipswich? Like, it's just so weird. Like, I get to an extent,
I blame these international players. They all just look like they're not trying to get stuck in. I'm sorry, Brennan. You can't try and disrupt Smosh Dicks doing a bicycle kick because you're going to go play for Wales? Like, with all due respect, you're not Gareth Bale. They'll survive without you if, for God forbid, you end up tweaking something for your club that pays you a paycheck. Your national team don't pay you nothing. You're paying them, technically.
But at the same time, though, like, I feel like defensively, you guys were a lot more sound than you were last season. You were a lot more sound than you were this season, and that to me says something about the manager. Something's going on defensively where like your defense hasn't been anywhere near as good as it was last season. Like you guys last season did the high line, but defensively you had a decent enough defense that just. Horo had a good season last season. Udogi, good season last season. Romero, fantastic season.
And all 3 of those names have been shit this year. Not shit, but
so that
not
says something.
Not
too.
at that level. And what do you think? Is that because I try and ask this to people? Is that on the manager for that drop off? Is that on the players? What is that? For me, I feel like it falls on the lack of leadership because when we started capitulating versus Brighton, CUTI Romero's our captain, and he's looking like a sad dog, shrugging his shoulders, flailing his arms around. So it's like, thanks, buddy. I really feel confident that we can like stop them from scoring on us again. And then they score, and then he's like, and it's just a downward spiral. So I feel like I'm concerned for a lot of reasons, and I don't think it's either everyone is right and Ange Postecoglou is this fucking human piece of shit like they all say, or I might be hitting on something. These international players don't fucking commit right before an international break because they got else shit on their mind. And then also CUTI Romero, since that Real Madrid bullshit, he never said anything about it. He never had any quotes about it, any rebuttals, anything to say. I'm, like Pedro Porro, who was linked with Real Madrid, said, I'm flattered, I love it, but my focus is on Tottenham. Perfect. Professional answer. I get it. You're Spanish. You likely want to go play for Real Madrid.
Doing that for Liverpool right now.
They fucking win trophy after trophy after trophy. But Trent Alexander-Arnold has at least spoken.
Has he?
CUTI ain't said shit.
From him.
He did, but he didn't say anything about Real Madrid. But he spoke about his
said
contract
vaguely, like, "Oh, we'll see what
he
happens
spoke
with my
about like
contract."
he wants to win. That's what he wants to do. He wants to sign and win, go out this season winning, kind of a thing. And it's like, talking about his exit. But for Romero, like the Real Madrid links happened in the summer, and I'll tell you right now, at that moment, Marshall, you know me how I feel. I would have been devastated. To say that's a understatement. I probably would have wept for 14 days and 14 nights. But it's like now, if this is the shit you're gonna give me because you're thinking about bitch in Spain, just go, motherfucker. Because I care more about Tottenham than I care about CUTI or any fucking player or any manager. Bottom line. Yeah. Because when they're gone, when they're done with whatever they're trying to do in their career, when they go sign for someone else because they get a better job or more likely to win trophy type shit, I no longer I care. If Harry Kane did so good, cool. Oh, he lost that, cool. It doesn't really affect me because it's just he's another dude. He don't play for Tottenham. And I care about them as a human, obviously, but to the extent it's like, bro, if you're going to be not a leader, which you are a senior player, our most decorated player, and the vice captain, and you are failing us, to me, that's how the tower starts falling. You take out the base pieces when they're not performing, like Romero, Madison, those leadership group, and then look what you got. You have mental capitulation. And again, is that on Ainge? Maybe he needs to be more of a micromanager of men. Maybe. I don't know what the right answer is, because for me, I don't like motherfuckers hanging over my shoulder. My boss watching me edit, like hanging over my shoulder while I'm running camera, like fuck off, bro. Critique me afterwards. No
micromanaging.
Or before. Yeah. This is game day and I'm doing the shit that we've been getting, and you're just in my ear going wah wah wah. Like players, for me, I would have thought, again, this is my feelings, I've never liked hearing a manager yelling at me while I'm doing something, because then if anything, it pisses me off. And anyone who knows me well enough, typically when you tell me to do something, it makes me want to do different, because I want to be like, your way's not the right way, kind of a thing. So that's just me. But Lucas Moura in the Amazon doc, he said something to the effect like, oh, I hate that there's no fans in the stadium, obviously because like the atmosphere, but secondly because I'm used to only hearing a manager yell at me for 45 minutes. Now I hear it for a full 90. And they didn't like more yelling. So it's like, and fans used to make fun of Arteta and everyone for the Circus Olay flamboyancy on the touchline. And then now Ainge is standing there with hands in his pockets. How dare he? He's not flailing around like a wacky inflatable flailing arm tube man.
But that's the thing too, right? Like I remember Lampard, he got criticized a lot for like, and rightfully so, just lack of tactics. And when it going got tough, there was no instruction. You didn't see him on a touchline giving instructions. And like, I think my personal opinion, I like to see my manager do that stuff, because it shows, especially if you got a young squad like I do right now, that's what the team needed, was instruction on, improving in the game and being able to find, if you can't figure it out yourself, you have some help to help you figure out how to get past this hurdle with any team, like a low block or whatever. But going back to the defensive issue, right? I think there's two things it could be. Either it could be the manager. That's one hypothetical you can entertain. You can go down that path. The other path you can look in, which is potentially something you could fix in January, is your best midfielder has been Dejan Kulusevski. And he hasn't had a good season since 2 seasons ago.
12 months ago, we didn't know what his fucking best position was.
And that says a lot about your midfield. And I'm a staunch believer that if you don't have a good midfield defensively, like that a DM or something, a good midfield that can control that middle of the park, you're just exposing your center backs to look bad. Like, there's a reason why this season for Chelsea, Levi Colwill has looked so different than last season, where he was playing left back or being exposed constantly under the Poch system, right? There's a reason why when we won the Champions League, that when Tuchel came in and you had Jorginho and Conte in that Champions League final. We went into that Champions League with the least amount of goals conceded in a tournament. And these are guys that Rudiger was on his way out. People wanted him out. They thought he was a clown. Christensen, bitch, always having his period. All this stupid bullshit that they would say about him being over emotional, all this stuff, and calling out sick and stuff. They ended up being stars for Chelsea that now we regret giving them away or them going on a free. Like having a good midfielder in front of him and keep being compact, being sound defensively is just as good and just as important as being good in attack. And that is on the midfield. And your midfield hasn't stepped up. We've seen Maddison this season play as a 6, I believe, at points. And now he's
here's
benched.
the thing is Ainge always said, you know, because this was something that was brought up last year with Ainge's midfield specifically, which real quick, big up Shoshi for getting up on, I think you used to be a member, you were gifted a member, but you're re up on that membership in the Lover's Lane. And welcome, baby. We do love it. Appreciate you, baby.
You gonna sleep for 3 days, my baby. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make you cry.
How you gonna show us?
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the support, Shoshi. Big up for that. But about Ainge's midfield, you know, they're asking, like, do you want another 8? Do you want another 6 in the market? Like, what are you looking for? And he's like, I don't like to refer or think about my 3 midfielders as 6s, 8s, or 10. I want 3 midfielders who can do all 3 because they have to do all the jobs for me. And that's part of his philosophy. So it's like Maddison's responsibilities, specifically when he's been out there with like Kulusevski and Bentancur, which I thought was maybe one of our best midfield pairings at one point. And then it was like, okay, Maddison's clearly, it's just like anything more than 50 minutes of Maddison, it's not good. Like, he'll give you a good 45 minutes, but I'm not convinced. You know, last year he made me think I was an idiot for doubting him. And then it was like, wait till he comes back from injury, and he comes back from injury and he was like shit for 20 games. I was like, when's he coming back, guys? So I was like, I always refer to Maddison as like, he's like a crypto bro. I bought a whole bunch of Matacoin and I've been waiting for that motherfucker to give me some return. But so far it's just a fucking dead bank balance.
Shit.
And he's meant to be a vice captain, a leader, and he's getting benched because he's sucking ass. And so it's like, for me, you know, that might be Ainge's downfall right there, is the appointing of that leadership group. Shout out Paul, the Hotspur hippie. He's the one who said that he thinks that could be the thing that ends up biting Ainge in the ass, because you appoint these players as like, Maddison ain't even kicked the ball for us, and he was named vice captain. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like the amount of apathetic mentality that could creep in when you're like, Maddison walks in and I'm the guy now. That's kind of crazy to give him the keys like that. So, you know, I blame Ainge for that too. I don't know. I don't see it as like 6s, 8s, and 10s. It's like the dude who's primarily doing the 6 stuff, he's also doing the 8 stuff and maybe a little bit less of the 10, but he's still getting forward. Like Bentancur, who's been like somewhat of our 6 at times. Yeah. He's taken 3 shots versus Ipswich and one of them goes in. You know what I'm saying? And then in another game, Bissouma is that guy, but he's also our deep lying 6. So it's like these guys like that, he's using them in a multi role, kind of a effervescence, a omnipresent role, if you will. So I don't. Is it right? I don't know, but it's like I'm down for the ride, man, because I would like to see him live out his contract, because I've always seen Ainge as like a transitional manager kind of a thing, like to help get us, like we are a dude laying in the mud, and each year we buy a manager, we roll over, and then we start to get up, then we go back down in the mud. And then the way I see it is like Ainge is trying to help us stand. He can maybe start getting us to walk as well, maybe even get us to run. But it's one step at a time, and we're still getting up from where we've been, in my opinion. And this is just the way I see it, because like with Pochettino, it was its own ride, but it still never was successful in the end. Like financially, sure, commercially, sure. However, there was no trophies to show for it. Just a bunch of sad photos of number 2. And so to me, I a little bit see it like who you want though, Jacob. Names? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but that's what I wanted to ask you. Hold on, because like I'm kind of confused here. Like, what makes you think that Ange is a transitional manager? Like, who are you going to transition to after Ange? Because it seems like right now, with the way you guys have been recruiting, with the way you guys have been setting this team up, it seems like you're kind of building a project, and you're kind of like, to an extent,
you
right?
Can't say
like
the P word. They'll cut you.
It seems like you're kind of building an infrastructure. I got past that one, huh? Gegenpress. No, I'm unpressed.
Very nice.
So, like, obviously, there's some signings that are weird, but there are other signings, like, for example, the signing of Madison. Even though I never rated Madison, I always thought he was a purple patch player. The signing of Madison, a young attacking midfielder, someone who can come in and replace what Lucas Moura was for the team, right? Then you have Kulusevski was, I think, a great signing for you guys. He was another one that's going into his prime, going to be another leader in that team. You look at Archie Gray being a signing. You guys got a young player that potentially is going to be a great talent for you guys. Then the recruitment of, for example, Brendan Johnson, another young talent that people see potential in. Chelsea were linked to him. I remember that. And you saw the recent purple patch. You know what he's capable of doing. A pretty young defense too, as well. When you think about it, like it's a relatively young team to an extent. So I just don't see it being a transition manager. I think this is the manager that, if things go well, he's got the style of play. He has the potential to get you into a top four, right? And who knows? He has won trophies. It's in his repertoire. Could potentially win you a trophy, but right now he needs to figure out the consistency issue. And I think, for me, my criticism of Ange Postecoglou, and I think I've said this to you already, is the adaptability. Like, he needs to learn, he needs to figure out a way to play the game when he doesn't have certain players to play the style that he wants to play. You can't just persist with, like, obviously last year was a huge example of the stubbornness, or just a really strong belief in yourself, that even with 9 men on the pitch, you're still playing with a high line. Like,
Yeah, I loved it.
Let's know another way of playing. You have to figure that out.
Liked it. Bro,
Of course,
I like that.
Everyone likes
personally.
attacking football, though. Like, yeah,
But just the mentality of, like, I don't give a shit if there's 5 of us, bro. We're gonna fight you the way we know how to fight, and like, it's respectable for me. And like, I kind of live my life in the same rationale where it's like, I
Jacob,
understand.
it's respectable until you need to win games.
But see, true. But it's also been what has won us games, not shying away from who we are, going down to 10 men and scoring 2 goals. Like, we've done that. So to me, I always said I would rather be consistent in our philosophy rather than adaptable to circumstance. And what you're talking about with injuries and players out, and that's what we had last year, AFCON, Asian Cup, and injuries. And to me, people are like, oh, you got to change this, you got to change that. I still see it as this man's still sinking his roots into this ground, and you want him to move the tree just because the sprinkler ain't hitting over here right now. Well, I'd rather move the fucking sprinkler to water the tree that we're planting over here. And, I made a joke about it last year, but it really was how I see it as well, kind of a philosophy in life, like remembering the Alamo. Yeah, it's a stupid nomenclature and it's a joke, right? Like, oh, remember the Alamo. It was a battle in which we lost in the American Revolution or whatever the fuck. And it was basically like 150 dudes in a little tiny ass shack. If you've ever been to San Antonio, this fucking building is tiny. I would hate to be in there with 100 dudes personally, but it was like a major post for the war or whatever, and they knew that there was like 20,000 Spaniards heading towards them to take over San Antonio, and they said, "Fuck it, bro, we're gonna fight them. Well, you're gonna die." Well, we're here for a reason. There's something special that we're trying to accomplish here. And you know what? They all died, Marshall. None of them lived. So it is a little bit like he could die from it, sure. But I'd rather explore this, because what we have done in the past is what everyone wants us to do right now, which is dip our toes into something, and as soon as the water is not the right temperature, we pull our foot out. You know what I mean? And right now it's like that uncomfortable part where you're getting into the pool, and as us men know, there's a certain part where your nuts hit the water and your body starts going through a little bit of a physiological change. So in that moment is where we're at the part where the scrot has just touched the precipice of the water. And now people are like, ooh, it's cold. Ooh, get me out of the pool. Ooh, give me my towel. And it's like, I get it.
Weenie
Some
whiners,
people-
bro.
Exactly. Weenie whiners. The wah-wah. The Chicken Little sky is falling. Again, different strokes for different folks. Some people don't want to get their nuts wet when they at the pool party. For me, it ain't a party unless my whole body wet, baby. So talk to me nicely.
Huh?
But I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
There's only one way losing to Ipswich makes me feel.
Was that after the shootout? The 11-shot shootout?
I have no idea.
Because
But-
it's Europa League and it's Man United.
No,
I
I
can see
think
that
it was.
being it.
I feel like it was when we beat them at their ground 3-0, and I was like on a post-match show going through all the like reactions of the watch along United people. I think that's where it came from.
It's so
I
funny,
think.
dude.
Anyway, that's kind of my like silly take is like, yeah, man, we might die here at the Alamo, but we're fucking standing for something. And what that did was here's a fun play on words. It spurred on the rest of America to say, wow, these guys stood on business till they died. They stood on business till their fucking body was evaporating. So to me, history ain't forgot. And whether Ange Postecoglou can survive the rounds at the Alamo, we don't know. It remains to be seen.
Yes.
However, sometimes you got to fucking do what you got to do for the greater good. You know what I mean? And that's where I think we're at right now. Because Jose Mourinho was trying to piggyback off of what we were doing with Poch, but in a different style. But it was a guy who doesn't not win. So surely he's going to win us something. Well, we sack him 5 days before a final. Okay. And then the next guy we bring in is because we couldn't get the other 3 guys that we were trying to bring in before him. And he said, we'll make you proud. And then he won Manager of the Month. And then the next month he was sacked. And then we got Antonio Conte. And we know what he said. These a club, these are players. You can change the manager at the Tottenham, but you cannot change the Tottenham Hotspur. And everyone was like, yeah, he's right. Or they were like, well, fuck you, Antonio. And either way, the penny flips, it still validates the fact that this isn't Ange's fault. Because 2 serial fucking winners who go fucking win everywhere came here and were like, this club, these players, they don't want to play under the pressure. They like it to put the feet up and to chill with the pepperoni pizza. And it's like, I know. And at the same time, we have Eric Dyer, who's a vice captain in leadership group that we had before Ainge literally like atomic bombed the leadership group. He's like, Harry's gone, Dyer gone, Winks gone, Sanchez gone, Hugo gone. Get all these bastards out of here. And then he made his own leadership group. And it's like, well, see, now you might be shooting yourself in the foot with that one. I just like, bro, they're like, Ange Postecoglou's a man, first of all. He's not a magician or Jesus Christ or some kind of deity. He's just a dude who loves football like any of us. And he is literally coming into something that is the biggest job he's ever had. And he's trying to change a problem that has been here for 20 plus years, at least. So I don't really blame him when we show those aforementioned symptoms of our bullshit before. Because we always do for anyone, for the best managers, the special one, the dude who is going to transcend time. He's going to be a name that is echoed in the echelons of this sport long after my grandkids have had grandkids. He is the special one. And he came here and we But Ainge Postecoglou is going to have to do what they haven't done. And again, the last thing I want to say, because let's play some FIFA after this. We've been going on for an hour now on Tottenham shit. So after this, we're going to play some FIFA. But this last thing I want to touch on is they always say, well, he's got all this money that Jose didn't get and Conte didn't get. And while that is statistically true, factually true, the money spent on players has been more. But if you look at the amount of players we've gotten rid of, the wage that we've deducted, and the quality of players that we've recruited, I don't think that that's Ainge, because it matches and correlates with the same shit we did for Jose, the same shit we did for Conte, the same shit we did for Nuno. And so if you're gonna attribute Ainge and to signing Timo Werner, to signing these guys, that's like, who are these guys? What is this? Lucas Bergvall, what is that? Right? Like, that's Ainge. 400 million, right? They always say 400 million. That it's Ainge spent it. It's a lie. They act like he went to the fucking mini mall. And Levy said, "Here's a checkbook, bro. Have fun." Your limit's 400 million, by the way. That didn't happen. That didn't happen at all, because before Ainge got here, we were restructuring our scouting, recruiting, and the way our front office handled like approaching and looking at players and all that shit. And then he comes and they're like, now you're on the boat, so you can like input, but you're not the captain. You're not the second cruiseman. You're not the third cruiseman. You're just a guy who says, yeah, I think that sails in the right direction based on the wind. And they're like, we're fucking sinking, and we're not. They just don't see the land yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I refer to this boat metaphorically because I feel like I feel as though we're heading in the right direction. I'm not saying I see land that no one can see, like I'm some Nostradamus, but I feel as though Ainge, when he grabs the wheel of this boat, I feel like he's putting us in the right direction. That's how I feel personally. Now, I know people are going to feel differently, and I just see it again. This is not his recruitment necessarily. Yeah. Sure, he's had input.
Of course.
I blame him for playing Timo Werner. I blame him for starting the Fraser Forster. If we would have lost versus Coventry, that was on Ainge. He started Fraser Forster and Timo Werner. How the fuck am I going to defend you, bro? You've done it time and time again. Now you're a repeat offender. But we didn't. We won. We squeaked out of there. And we live to fight another day. Yeah.
Do you feel, because I don't understand the whole Timo Werner thing, the starting Timo. I don't think. I'll ask you a question about the recruitment after this, but
yeah.
Do you think, is Ange the type of manager that he feels like he could fix you? You know, like he's that girlfriend that like looks at the guy and it's just like, I can fix him. He's broken. He's damaged goods, but I can fix him. Because it seems like maybe he got a big head from doing it with Brendan Johnson, where Johnson kind of had a decent purple patch there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he's doing that with Timo, and you think he's doing that by trusting certain players?
I think he was continually giving Timo Werner the opportunity when we had healthy wingers to make a name and stake his claim as like the third option winger or whatever. And he continually failed that. Now, again, how many times do you give a bastard dog a chance to not eat the T-bone steak off the table, right? Yeah. And that's going to be different for everybody. It's a relative thing. For me, again, if we had lost versus Coventry, when he starts Timo Werner, when we had healthy wingers, that's on him. But Galatasaray, we had to play Timo. Versus Ipswich, we had to play Timo. We were running out of healthy bodies on the wing. And so by hook or by crook, and again, this is what always fucking happens. This club gets Clement Longley. Oh, don't worry, he's third or fourth option. Now the motherfucker's starting because someone got hurt or whatever the fuck happens, right? So it's like, did I think Antonio Conte said, give me Clement Longley, y'all. That's what I really want in my back three. Oh, and give me Richarlison up front.
Richarlison's so bad.
Give me Ivan Perisic on a free because he's 35. Also give me Fraser Forster. Give me Yves Bissouma. He didn't even like Yves Bissouma because I'm pretty sure Conte's a racist.
To be fair,
he didn't like Bissouma.
Yeah, he definitely didn't like Bissouma. To be fair though, Bissouma did look really good at Brighton before he came to Spurs.
Oh, bro, I bought a number 38 Bissouma shirt when we signed him.
Yeah,
I don't even like the number 38, but I was like, I love Bissouma, and we signed him because I thought he was like the reason we struggled against Brighton, but not this year or last year.
So that's the
Real
other thing,
quick, let
too.
me
Go
shout
ahead.
out David Shear. He gifted 5 more United. We're getting some gifts going on. It ain't even
Yeah,
Christmas,
let's
baby.
go, man.
Hey, come on, David Shear. You talking to me real nice. Good morning to you, David Shear. I hope you're doing well. And I'll just be really honest. I appreciate you being here. All right, your support means a lot to me, and this is how you make me feel.
You gonna sleep for 3 days, my baby. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna make you cry.
How you gonna show us?
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay, ay, ay. I do love that clip. And I just like the way he says, baby. I'm going to show you, baby. But big up David Shear. Let's see who got those memberships. Lozenge. Loz Forange. I don't know how to say that name, but you got gifted JC Futility 1912, Menace Mendez, and EPL Turf all got gifted memberships. And I see David Shear also said, hey, Cobber, come on, you fucking Spurs, with his 12-month membership chat. So big up for that, my friend. That shit means, that, bro, 12 months of being a member on this channel. That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
This shit absolutely means something to me, man. 12 months of support. You talking real nice, David. You talking real nice, baby. So big up, David, man. Many salutations to you. Big up Donna Colin gifting another 5. That's 10 memberships, 10 lovers. Welcome to the lane.
Nice.
For what? Because Donna says so. She said we rebranded, and now everybody gonna pull up, baby. Show up, baby. Steve D, Cozy, Jose Aceves, Aceves? I pull up in Aceves. My name is Josue, and I pull up in Aceves. I don't know how to say his name. It's like Josue Aceves. I don't know how to say his last name. Joe Hong also got a membership, and Sports Lover. And you know what we love? You for doing that. All right. And we do love sports as well. So I do love the way it looks.
You must have had a great view of that.
Wow, unbelievable from the back. Yeah.
Unbelievable from the back indeed. So thank you so much for all that support, and big up. Welcome to the family, you fucking beautiful lovers out there. But Marshall, there was something you were going to say before I was like rudely cut you off because people spend money.
Good. No, you're good. I was actually going to say, for people criticizing the players Ange brought in and all that stuff, and the money you guys spent. Yeah, you guys spent money, but that's been another criticism of Tottenham, right? Which is how you guys have spent money. The fact that you purchased Timo Werner is insane to me.
Well, we loaned him twice, technically.
And you still won.
And we reworked the deal. So there's news that people are operating. So I'm not trying to by any way justify the signing of Timo Werner. All right. But what happened was we signed him for that 6 months because Son was going to Asian games and we needed a fucking winger, that anybody kind of a thing. So I understood it when we did it in January. And at the end of the loan, I was like, all right, send him back. Just bye, you know. But you know what they say about lingerers, fucking lingerers, man. So he called his daddy over at RB Leipzig and said, Didi, can I stay another night? And we were like, fucking shit, like, all right. But this time, this is an assumption. So I'm operating off the same level of assumption that the opposite are operating on, saying, oh, we're spending $165,000 on Timo Werner every week. We've reworked a whole different loan deal. So my estimation is if you know Levy, and I think I know Levy a decent amount, if you know him, he's not going to just say, oh, this piece of trash, we're going to reuse it again. No, he will reuse it, but at a deducted fee. So I can almost guarantee, and I'm going to use my assumption and my senior sources and my inside sources and my personnel that I have inside the club. They told me, all right, just like Football Insider, Jacob Insider. Wait, whoa, I'm married. I barely know her. Hang on. Fuck.
Am I dreaming? Yo?
Mean Jacob Insider? Holy shit. But like Football Insider, I'm just going to say my senior sources say that we reworked the wage structure bill and how we're allocating the payments. So I can do that. Because Football Insider, even though he barely knows her, Jacob Insider, even though, yeah, anyway, this is a dead joke.
But again, like, it's not so much like the spend, right? It's what you're spending it on. And to me, you're not. There's a lot of players that have been recently recruited that I don't think is an investment towards winning. Players that are going to make a difference and change the mentality. Like you spoke about leadership, right? Like Richarlison doesn't scream leadership to me. Like Werner doesn't scream leadership to me. It's just there's some players there like Solanke. I can see that's a good signing. I could see that being good for you guys. I could see him potentially staying there for a while, becoming a leader of the squad. Right? There's hit or misses. And it's kind of 50-50 for you guys, where it needs to be more hits than misses in order to get anywhere with this. Like, again, I got to reference Chelsea because this is like home base for me, right? Mudryk is a signing that I'm thinking like is very questionable. Like, okay, why did we get this guy? It doesn't seem like he's fit. Like, yeah, he's gotten a few, good games this season so far. He's gotten a little better. He's improved. But for the price that we got him for and how long it's taken to get this far, is he the guy? And then you look at our center backs too. I'm thinking like, dude, who did we sign that? Like, I don't feel like it's the right signing, but then we have a lot of hits. So it's just one of those things that, to me, you got to fix our recruitment, and you can't blame that on Ange because, to a certain extent, yeah, Ange has an input, and he can say, yeah, sure,
Like
but
he's on a boat that's not doing well at sea at moments.
yeah,
But he didn't build the boat. He didn't set this one. He wasn't the man steering when we left the dock. He's I try to just try right to be as balanced as possible and say, well, what do I? 'Cause he is accountable. Like he's a part. If you're committing a heist, like whether he's the driver, the dude with the stick up, or the dude putting the cash in the bag, or the dude that's sitting in his home on the Wi-Fi, being like, hey, the cops are 5 minutes out or whatever. In those heist movies, he's still a part of the operation. So yes. He does take blame. I do hold him accountable. I go into the whan chats and the fucking whan, the Remoras are like, Daddy said that Jacob's a happy clap. And it's like Remora, weirdos, bro. Where you just suck too much dick for me to care about what you got to say to me. I was on that stream. I was pretty flamboyant with my insults. I was like, what are you? What's the name of those little fishies that just go around sucking on the whales and the bigger fish? And it was Remora. I was like, yeah, that's you, a Remora, where you suck too much dick for me to give a shit about what you got to say to me. And I'm glad that you picked that of all the lines.
Yeah, of course, dude.
I think I still have a Remora photo or something. Yeah. Sometimes, bro, that's what I'm saying. I started this channel with another guy, so I didn't go off the rails. But he left like over a year ago, like almost 2 years at this point. So it's just been me in this boat at sea.
Gotta
fuck with me, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Hey, just Jacob. But hey, it's I don't know. Again, I just don't think Ainge is like the problem. These are the problems of mentality and loser mentality and dudes skating by. There was not so long ago, our dude in the leadership group was going on camera with Dave the Predator Portnoy saying, and he's like, oh, you guys never win anything, right? And he's like, ha, yeah, we don't ever win. Ha, you're so right, David Portnoy. Ha. And it's like, that guy's in our leadership group. And you know who else was with him? Harry Kane and Matt Doherty, two other fucking weirdos in our leadership group, just being like, oh, Dave Portnoy's making fun of us, guys. Oh, like your backstage Miley Cyrus concert type shit. Like you're just happy to be there. Weirdos, losers, Remoras.
Is that my cue?
Remora, where you just suck too much dick for me to care about what you got to say to me. The Jacob train? Go off the rails? Never. Me? Officer? I was speeding? That's news to me. This is a new name in the chat. Hello. Red Devils Down Under says, as an Australian, I love the fact you guys are so balanced about Ainge. A mechanic is only as good as the tools he is given. Ainge isn't as bad a manager. That's reflected in how Spurs are playing. That's what I've maintained, that in order for me to blame you, you have to be like the main problem. We all know what the main problem is. And then the secondary problem is these players with their feet up, with their fucking Uggs with the fur inside the boot, boots with the fur looking ass motherfuckers. And it sucks because players I hold in high regard, like CUTI Romero, seems that he bought himself a pair of Uggs. But big up. Good to see you in the house, Red Devils. Look, I'll tell you this. There's not a lot, and by a lot, I think I can think of myself and maybe 2-3 other channels out of the 100 and 200 Spurs channels out there. They're not going to talk about Ainge this way. They're going to say he's fucking mouth breather, he's fat, he's this, he's that. To me, I love him. He is the papa. And you need to trust daddy when you're driving. Because them fucking kids going, where in the backseat? Are we there yet, daddy? Daddy, are we there yet? Where are we, daddy? Oh, daddy, did we pull up to the Grand Canyon yet? Oh, daddy out. Daddy out. We didn't make it to the Grand Canyon. And yeah. It's like, how am I supposed to get to the Grand Canyon in that amount of hours? It's physically not possible. And they're like, Daddy, I want to be at the Grand Canyon. Just shut your bitch ass up. Sit in the back seat where you belong. All right? Let Ainge in the front of the fucking car. Let him worry about it. Every time. Yeah.
Wow moment right there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. Daddy, oh, can I get some popcorn and juice? Daddy didn't give me the right juice. Shut your ass up, you ungrateful little thirsty mongrel. These fans, bro, they piss me off. Like, they constantly talk about us and shit on us and tell you how shit we are as a club, but then they expect us to go into the market and act like Real Madrid. And then we're supposed to win every game. And if you don't win every game, we win.
It's true. It's not going to change until your owner changes. We all know this.
Daddy out. Daddy, we didn't make it to the Grand Canyon, Daddy. It's like, bro, we've been on the road for 6 hours and we're fucking 24 hours away. We're a fourth of the way through. I guess, no, we're more than a fourth of the way through this 4-year project. So, excuse me, not project. Flawject.
Infrastructure.
I don't know what to call it because people hate that word process, bro. Arsenal ruined the word process.
They really did.
It's not a process. It's a journey. How about that? Journey.
Yeah.
Let's go with a journey.
Adventure.
Don't stop. Yeah, baby. Believe it. Hold on to the feeling.
Some journey for you.
We are on a journey, and it's looking like how I just sounded singing a Journey song. But you know what? This is why I don't sing, because I let people like Ainge, who've been singing professionally for 30 years, I'll let that motherfucker sing.
Really?
And I'll just say, yeah, Daddy, thank you. I guess that sounded weird too, you know? When I just heard that out loud, it did sound a little weird. I don't know. There's so many different metaphors that come to mind because, like, I remember being that whiny little bitch of a kid in the backseat being like, Mom, why are we with it's like, bro, time only goes at a certain rate. This car can only go so fast or else we're going to die.
Our moments.
It's like, Mommy, are we? Because we used to drive all the time from Dallas to El Paso. That's a fucking, back in the day, before they updated the highway and changed the speed to 85, it'd take 12 hours.
Yeah, dude.
You know, with a single mom with 3
maps.
kids in a van, and all them 3 kids in the van going, Mama, why aren't we there yet? Eventually, my mom didn't do this, but if I was her, which thank God I'm not, I would have fucking pulled that car over and slapped all 3 of them kids. Said, shut the fuck up. All right, we'll get there when we get there. Close your eyes, go to sleep, or look out the window, or play the Game Boy that I bought you, because, you know,
was a Game Boy
single mom affording 3 Game Boys, that's not cheap. With 3 games, then you got to buy batteries. And, come on, man. Daddy,
batteries, respect.
Where's the Grand Canyon? And it's like when you ask some fans, you know, hey, what will it take for you to support Ange Postecoglou? For you to believe that Ainge, you know, because they'll say he's a bozo, he's clueless, he has no idea, he just stands there with his hands in his pockets, he's looking down all the time, and I'll say, okay, so what will it take for you to believe in Ainge that all those things you're saying are wrong? Win a trophy. So, okay, so you're telling me last week we didn't play for a trophy. This week we're not going to play for a trophy. 2 weeks ago we weren't playing for a trophy. You know, I can keep doing this, but it's redundant after a while. So at no point will he be satisfied until either February or at the end of the season when he's seen some armpits. And I say, okay, that's fair. Like, again, I don't like to tell people what it will take, you know, how to support, etc. But for me, it's just, like that kid in the back seat every 30 minutes. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? No, it's a road trip.
It's a patience thing, really.
It's a fucking road trip. Well, I don't even want to say patience because, like, if you've been a fan of this club for 23 years, you haven't seen us lift the trophy.
Well, you know what? That's fair, actually, yeah.
So it's like, how do you tell them to be patient? I don't think patient is a good thing. I wouldn't be like, be patient. I've never once been like, y'all need to be patient with Ainge. I just say why I think they're wrong about Ainge and about the performances, etc. The mentality issues.
Though, this is Ange's second season, bro. Like, you gotta actually be a little patient.
Especially when before Ainge, we hadn't had a manager start and finish a season since Poch.
There you go. That's a thing. That's a factor. Like, that's also where the patience things comes in. You know, like, if you want to change, you're gonna have to change the way you think about how you're gonna like assess managers and stuff. Like, there are ups and downs. Like, I'll admit, when Tuchel was going through a bad patch of form towards the end of his tenure, you know, I was going to be patient, but it was not looking good. I mean, right now it's not looking good for, you know, Ange, but you kind of got to be patient to see what's going to happen when it going gets tough, especially with these next coming games, you know? So that's my 2 cents as a Chelsea fan who's won trophies and, you know, enjoys them when they do get them. It's been a while. I'm getting the itch, but hopefully it happens. And
speaking of the itch, and hopefully you're washing up properly in all the secure areas. David Shear with the super chat says, "Didn't Romero get signed by Salford?" And I don't know.
Is that a player? You can look it up. Romero, the player.
I have no idea.
Bangers?
Is that a real person or is he a bum?
And a bum, just a fucking bum and a fucking idiot.
I don't know.